Hello and welcome to the program Hot Button. Everybody has gone through something that may have changed them and then have put them in a particular state that they cannot go back to undo. And sometimes they have to face the outcome of this particular thing for the rest of their life. My name is Johnny and I have with me on the program
Divorcee
and
Joseph.
welcome to the program.
Thank you.
The topic of today is dating a divorcee. Dating a divorcee. Now, it might sound like, who does that? But there are people, young people like you and I, who are facing this particular situation even as we speak. To them, they have found love. To them, it is a situation that have brought them into this particular spot. But they are dating divorcee. Some are frowning at it. Some are like, it's fine. Now we want to know what is the appropriate thing to do. Dating a divorcee. Now, what is your opinion on dating a divorcee?
For me, I do not like the idea. I'm totally against it, especially as young girls. I personally cannot date a divorcee because it's so much burden. I consider it's like a lot of burden. So I think a divorcee should date a divorcee. So because they can relate to each other's problems and also.
Okay.
Yeah,
A
that's what I
divorcee
feel.
should date
A divorcee,
It's
yeah.
not something you think is appropriate.
Yeah.
Let me hear from you, Joseph.
First of all, I'd like to say that everyone deserves second chance.
Okay.
Happiness, love, and all sorts of things. So, saying it won't work, I feel it will work.
Okay.
Dating a divorcee shouldn't be a problem because I feel like someone who is a divorcee is experienced.
Okay.
And you coming to see meeting a divorcee means that you would actually have less problems.
Less problems.
Yeah, because so the person has gone through all the marriage experience. So you coming in would be like, okay, this person has gone through it. You giving a chance, you actually get the chance to learn from the person with the right mindset.
With the right mindset. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
And he's not the only one with this kind of opinion. There are quite a number of people who are sharing the same opinion. What do you think about what he just said?
I don't agree. Because which one is less problems
Less stress,
less stress? That's totally not true, because coming from a marriage already, that means like for you to have divorced your spouse or something must have happened, and that would create trauma that the person you want to now date will not have to deal with. So that less problems is a no-no.
Yeah.
There will be more problems for you.
Concerning what she said,
Okay.
so I'll give you an instance here. I am a single person. I've not dated, I've not gotten married before, and I met someone who is a divorcee. Before dating the person, I would like to know what happened, like the story behind your divorce and stuff. If I find out that okay, the reason why you guys got divorced is not your fault, it's your ex fault, I can like, okay, sure, this can work. But if I find out that it's actually your fault, not your ex, I can give you a chance whereby I know that you've learned from your lesson.
Okay.
You are not going to repeat the same mistake you made with your ex. So like, like I said before, everyone deserves a second chance.
Okay.
You can't just, most times the reason why people get divorced because they get overwhelmed with marriage and stuff. They just rush into it very early.
They rush into it very early.
So they don't like know what marriage is all about. So when they get to it, everything just looks boom. And next thing is that they want to get out. So that's why I say everyone deserves a second chance. So you just have to like find the common ground, basically.
You have to find a common ground. But let me get it. If someone is above the marriageable stage, should the option be considered? Like, you are almost in your 40s. Should age, should age take you to the point where you have to like, okay?
I think so. I think age can just affect it a little bit because I mean you're getting old. You would want to get married.
Okay.
You just have to see options available. So let me just do
So
this.
it doesn't really matter. You just because you want to be married.
Yeah, for some.
Wow. So you just have to, okay, because I'm getting older, and then husbands did not come.
Especially
you
for
only-
the female.
For the female,
Menopause
especially.
will be approaching. So you know you need to. You want to give birth. You want to get married.
Wow.
So the option available for you will now be a divorcee.
Wow. What do you think about that?
I feel like the older you get, that's how your priorities change. Young people at the age of mid-20s, that's the period where most people want to get married. 25, I want to get married, I want to do this, your goals are set and everything. When you get to 40, most people, as guys, I'm talking about, like,
Okay.
yeah, I don't think marriage will come into the box. Since you've gone through this already, getting married might not be the priority per se, but if, for example, you have a like child and you feel like, okay, you need someone to like rely on, someone to, yeah, sure, you can. At 40, you can still get married, you can still live a happy life. But the thing is, you having to get married at that stage, you need to start a whole new relationship and getting to know someone, and that takes time. And at 40, you don't have enough time on your side, so it might be dicey. Yeah.
To get into it.
Yeah.
Wow.
At
So
that age.
what this seems is like in a way, for ladies who have menopause standing by, they should consider it. Wow. So in that case, it's not like I'm marrying for the sake of love or anything. I'm just marrying because I don't want to be single at my age.
Yeah, probably.
Is that marrying for the right
might
reason?
Not, of course not. Of course not. But
So why would we want to
don't have
marry
a
for a wrong
choice.
reason?
I feel like what she said, yeah, marrying just because you just want to get married also will result into another divorce, because, like I said before, most people just get into marriage not knowing the full reason for marriage.
Okay.
So once you divorce, you take time to sit back. If you know that you're the reason why you are at fault for your divorce,
Okay.
sit back, correct yourself, learn your lesson, make sure you learn your lesson, make sure you know that even if I'm going into a relationship with someone else, I would never repeat this mistake. So that when next you go into that relationship, you don't repeat that same mistake again.
Okay.
Because something done once can be called a mistake, but twice it's not a mistake again.
Wow. But can't we just look at it like, okay, what caused the divorce before we even consider like, oh, I can give this a shot, I don't even have to care. A situation whereby a man just receives a note from the wife, or maybe a phone call, a text message, I'm gone, goodbye. And then maybe you wait for 5, 6, 10 years and then she's not coming. Or maybe the man is not coming. Automatically, maybe officially you're not divorced, but in a case where somebody like that wants to, can we consider the person like, because of his situation, it's not his fault, and then still be married to that person? Because the reason I said is, these are the analogies some people bring. Well, I married the man because the wife ran away. It's not like he meant to divorce. I married her because the husband ran away. It's not like she meant to divorce. The husband just vanished, and we heard he's married to someone abroad somewhere.
What if the wife comes back? I mean, they were not divorced officially. So what if she comes back? Then what will happen to you?
So there should be no reason to even consider that. No
Yes,
matter
I
what.
don't think there should be a
I feel
reason.
you can. There's some called compromising. You can learn to compromise. In that situation, I would advise.
Is it even necessary? Is it good to compromise marriage?
No.
Marriage is such a big institution.
Okay, maybe that's a wrong word, but what I was going to was that you make sure that, okay, you and your partner ran away, didn't come back. Make sure that before we can have something, you must find your partner and anything like officially. That's the only way. So do what you have to do, clear your spot. I'll do my. Yeah.
Because the reason I asked this question, there are numerous reasons why some young people feel they can date a divorcee. They tell you, well, the wife divorced him because he wasn't rich enough. The man divorced the woman because he said she is not well educated. Do you understand? The man divorced the woman because he started dating someone else. And that is the reason for the empathy. Now, should there be any point, at any point, where there should, based on what you said is a no-no for you. And you are saying, well, we can still negotiate depending on what happened. At that point, should we now consider, like you now, for this reason, the person was not ready to be divorced. And then he had no control over how he got divorced. Will you go ahead?
That one, I don't think so still. Because I feel there's a man for every woman. And what if God says, my husband is my husband? It doesn't have to be somebody that has gotten married before.
Sure.
Yeah, so
if he has married before, it means he's actually not your
yeah,
husband.
it's my bone of my bone is my bone of my bone. So it's going to come to me without any ex-wife problem. So a single man and a single woman.
That's how it is.
Yes.
So once you have tested marriage somewhere before, it is an indication that you're not meant for me. What do you think about that?
Concerning what you said about you left because is an illiterate or this and that. I would like to say this: another man's food is another man's poison.
One man's food is another man's poison.
Yeah. It might work for you, it might not work for me. It might work for me, it might not work for you. Okay. So she might be an illiterate, but I might still love her that way. There are marriages that work like that. Even if the husband is an illiterate, the wife still loves him that way. It just depends on how you can tolerate each other. I always say this. I have that mentality that you can love someone, but the fact that you can't tolerate them is a very big issue. That's why you can tolerate me.
Once you can tolerate,
then we are good. So I just feel like once you're divorced, you can still make it work. Yeah, and also let me chip this in. Like I said, something like being experienced too. Once you divorced, okay, now I meet someone who is divorced. I have not dated anyone before. I would make sure that she has gone through the life of being married.
Okay.
I would like to like listen.
To learn.
Yeah, learn. Yeah. So know, okay, what are the things you've gone through that you didn't like, so that in case this actually works,
okay,
I won't repeat the same mistakes. Things that your partner did you didn't like, that you won't like me to do. Okay. So from there, you even get to, at the point, you'll be like, okay, be confident enough that, okay, yeah, I can actually do this.
So that's an advantage.
Yeah, that's an advantage.
Are there disadvantages to marrying?
Yes, there are disadvantages.
Let me hear them.
First of all, they are emotionally unpredictable. Like I think I mentioned this before, that divorce itself is like kind of a traumatic experience. No matter how the marriage ended, something you would always like, it's like you always want to, you remember it, and sometimes you just use it to, you react.
So a part of you.
Yes, so a part of you will remember, yes, will be affected. So it's just like causing so much stress to the person you now want to be with. So that's why I...
Stress, like what kind of stress? Or we don't have disadvantages to it?
We do, actually.
Yes, now, when I mentioned about the whole emotionally unpredictable, I feel like it just causes so much mental and emotional stress for even you as a person, as the divorcee.
Okay.
Do you understand?
So okay, let me see from what the point you're coming from. What just came to my head is, if you marry a divorcee, number one, you're worried, what if the wife comes back?
Yes.
Number two, you're worried, how would people look at me like I'm a single person and then I married a divorcee? That's what you're saying. And then on the part of the divorced person, the person could be like, am I good enough? Will this person take me for who I am?
Yeah.
And those kind of things that come in
and
could
how it has
actually affect the relationship.
Yes.
Okay, it seems like you have something to
say.
say.
On the disadvantage note, I feel like a big disadvantage is, okay, for instance, I'm in a relationship and we're both in a relationship. She does something,
okay,
like she cheats on me, we get divorced, and I date someone else. The fact that she cheated on me, I get this mentality that every other person.
So you get into that
So when I get to, I tend not to trust anymore. Yeah, so yeah, it just affects your mind, messes up your mind a bit. So you get so insecure, you don't get to trust people more. So basically, the baggage from your previous relationship, there's no how you tend to take it to the next relationship.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
Wow.
even if the person is very innocent, the person is very is actually the right person, you might not actually see that because you are clouded by your previous relationship.
Okay.
That's why it's advisable once you divorce, take time to heal because there's no how you are wounded. You just need to like take time,
And
heal.
reevaluate.
Yeah, make sure that any relationship you are going into, you need to like with clear mind. You need to like see this person as the person. So
which means there are more disadvantages to
Yeah.
marrying a divorcee than
Yeah.
there is any advantage.
yeah,
Yes.
actually.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, now, can the age of the divorcee or the length of the marriage influence your decision to be with the person? This divorced guy is just 25. He's just 24. He was only married for 6 months. He was only married for 3 years. Can that make you consider?
Yes, but what if you now get married to him and then the same thing happens again? You get divorced in a year or two again.
Wow.
So I think you should still consider those factors as well, because
So it means it doesn't even matter. Let the person be young. Let
yeah,
the person marry for a short time.
it can still happen
You are
again.
a divorcee.
Yes, divorce is still
Single.
divorcing.
And I cannot marry you. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Uh,
What do you think?
Okay, 6 months. Like I said before, I don't know, I'm really referring, going back to what I've said. If you go into a relationship without knowing what marriage is all about, so if you get married without knowing what marriage is all about,
Okay.
you tend to get out of it very soon.
Okay.
So most people who 6 months, you should probably presume that they didn't know what they were doing, they just got married too early. So the best way to prevent that is, if I actually want to, okay, now you're divorced, yeah? This person is divorced. If I'm actually going to get married to you, we need to be like 100% sure that we are going to like, we are in this together. Because 6 months, that's like very, very short time. What happened in 6 months that you guys couldn't like handle it and fix it up?
Okay.
So you make sure that, okay, that thing that happened for you 6 months is not going to happen to us. We'll make sure that we're in this together. And also 6 months, what happened before 6 months? How many years were they together?
Okay.
Courtship,
Dating,
how
etc.
long? Yeah.
Okay.
Because also staying okay, divorcee now, if it's very, very long, 6 months, and you guys had courtship for up to like 4 years, 3 years, is actually going to be hard because you can't just forget someone who you've known for 3 years, 4 years.
You can't just
Yeah,
forget the person.
it's not possible.
Wow.
So like
So which means the influence of that person will still affect the relationship.
he or she might still actually have little feelings for that person. So you
that brought me to the next question. So if there is threat from the ex, okay, whereby you say, let me settle in and marry this divorcee, okay, and then if there is threat from the ex, would it affect the future of the relationship?
yeah, it would if you allow it.
Okay, if you allow
Yeah,
it. So
if you
it is
allow it.
not about the threat now.
Yeah.
It is if you
Yeah.
allow it. Let me hear that.
So marriage is about two people, just two people.
Okay.
So if you allow a third party, that's on you. So you need to like be very cautious with the person you are with. So she's a divorcee, make it known to your partner that okay, yeah, this is the type of ex you have. We need to make sure that no matter what, it shouldn't come between us. Even if it's okay, for example, you have a kid with him. You
That's
obviously
even complicated it
yeah,
more,
that's very, very complicated. And you maybe trying to get custody of the kid and stuff. You need to know that you have to like be wise about situations like that. So you need to like talk to your partner, this and this, set down rules. I don't want you with him at this particular this and this and this. So that when you need to know the type of ex the person has. If the ex is psycho, but you need to know the type before going into that actual relationship. Because okay, if you realize the ex is okay, calm, it's someone like you can talk to. Okay, that one might be allowed. But if he's a psychopath, you don't know his next move. Then I feel like your life is better than
to be in a relationship with such a person. Let me hear, what do you think?
Yeah, I would also say it's very, very risky. So, what if the threat is to your life? the same thing he said about being a psychopath,
Okay.
and also just better to stay away. Don't create problems for yourself.
So
You're
it's
still
better to
young.
not even get into.
Yes, that's why I'm standing my ground. Don't create problems for yourself unnecessarily. So yeah.
So in a nutshell, you see, what I'm gathering from this whole thing, it is not about a divorcee or a divorced person whatsoever. What I'm gathering from everything here is, no matter what you do not divorce at all.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Because when you divorce, it is better you stay where you are than to look,
Exactly.
because it is going to be tough on you when you're divorced and then you're looking for another
Another
person.
person. Yes.
And also, in the society we live in,
Okay.
female divorcees is actually harder on female divorcees than male divorcees.
Okay, it's
Yes.
harder
So,
on female
yeah,
divorcees than on male.
Yeah, because
Okay,
once
tell me
you're a
about
female
that.
divorcee, the society we live in,
There's a
This
stigma.
stereo-
on it.
yeah,
Yeah.
that it's presumed that it's your fault. It's this maybe your husband thinks you're good enough or something.
Mm.
So which makes most people afraid of getting divorced and stuff like that. So it now boils down to two things: do you stick into a relationship you're actually not happy
Happy
in,
with, okay.
or you actually go out and take the risk of being looked down upon? So
Mm.
it's just you have there are a lot of things when it comes to being divorced and stuff.
Okay.
So, but I would say just pick your happiness than
Happiness
Yes.
is much more important
Yeah.
It's definitely.
than just giving yourself a status
yeah.
Yeah.
of marriage. Wow. Now, if you have someone, or you know someone who is about to date a divorcee or is dating a divorcee, what would you say to such a person?
I'll tell the person, just pray to God. He will guide you if you should go into this or not. That's just it.
What?
Just pray.
And if the person is going, yeah, that's a spiritual advice. If it were to be your younger sister or your
Yeah.
elder sister, what personal advice would you give the person?
Know what you
Should
are
I
doing.
go ahead, or I should not go ahead? If I shouldn't go ahead, why? If I should go ahead, why?
Then just know what you are doing. Know why you are going into it. Because if you go, not going back. Because me, I don't support.
Okay.
But your happiness matters. So
Okay.
if you want to do it, why not? But make sure you have conversations
Okay.
with the person. Make sure you both are on the same level.
Hmm.
So yeah.
And when you're going into it, be ready that whatsoever action
Yes.
you take, there are consequences.
Of course.
If you're ready to get into it, be ready for
Yes.
what's coming. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Let me hear from you. What would you tell the person?
First of all, I'll tell the person use 60% of your heart and use 40% of your head.
60%
Of
of
your
your
heart.
heart,
And use 40%
40%
of your
of your head. Break it down.
Yeah. Not all relationships are meant to work out.
Okay.
As you're loving this person, you think that this is the one. You need to use your head to look out for signs that might tell you that, okay, nah, this is a no-go area. Our ex, our family, this. Is she changing? Is she trying to become a better person?
Hmm.
Is she trying to do this? So just all those things, because most people are clouded by all this romantic love.
Okay.
So you shine your eye, basically. With loving also comes thinking, just, yeah.
But before we go, let me ask this question. Young people, you still have the future ahead of you. You don't have to be in a hurry. You're still very much, promising. You still have a promising future. What should even make a young person consider marrying a divorcee? What are the factors?
You may think about the wealthy, like maybe they have money, the person
Okay.
can take care of you, and also experience. You can say, okay, maybe this person has gotten married. He should know how to care for me, know how to take care of your woman, something like that. That can be one of the
Could
reasons.
make someone
Yes.
to say, let me
I
marry.
say maybe I don't want all these small boys.
Hmm.
I want somebody that has gotten married before, somebody that has the experience.
So money can be used to entice the young one
Yes.
into marrying a divorcee.
Yes.
And that should not be a primary thing for getting into marriage.
Definitely.
Okay, let me hear from you.
Um,
What are those things that could actually sway a young person to get into a relationship with a divorcee?
Divorcee, as a guy, you always want to be with someone who is matured.
Hmm.
You always want to be with someone who is a woman, basically, a grown
Okay.
woman. So in your head, you believe that, okay, she must have gone through this, so probably she should be matured. and stuff like that. And if you're a young guy who also has a child, you'd be like, I need someone who can take care of my child. When she knows all the things,
What to do.
Yeah, what to do in case of raising up a child, if she has done that before. So all those factors can make you, okay, consider that.
When you find yourself a little bit disadvantaged because you made a mistake in the past, it could just make you to reconsider.
True.
Okay, well, what do I have to lose? Let me. Well, this is all we have said. Let us hear what the ultimate book says about this. What does the Bible say about being with a divorcee? Matthew chapter 5 verse 32. It says, "But I tell you that anyone who divorces his wife, or let's say husband, except for marital unfaithfulness, causes her to become an adulteress. And anyone who marries the divorced woman commits adultery." Which means what the Bible is telling us is, the moment someone is divorced, back off. There is no compromise. There is no consideration. That is the reason, as young people, we must learn to get into the right relationship that will lead into the right kind of marriage. Because once you're divorced, whether on the grounds of unfaithfulness or not, you have to stay all by yourself. The Bible did not just say the person becomes an adulterer. It said, whoever marries that divorced woman, that person commits adultery. Which means if you ever have children of that woman, you have had them out of adultery. Which means God frowns at marrying or being with a divorcee. So we must all learn that. There is no compromise. What the Bible says is what the Bible says. If you go contrary, remember, God has left us with a choice. But no matter what you do, there are consequences ahead of it. And it is only right that we do not do things that will bring bad consequences to us. Thank you so much for being on the program.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
There you have it. I'm sure you've learned something very, very useful from this topic today. If you're out there and you're thinking, or you are in a relationship with a divorcee, Matthew chapter 5 verse 32 tells you you are either thinking of being or committing adultery or being an adulterer. Why would you want to do that? To go contrary to the Bible has its consequences. Let us take the word of God seriously and do what we need to do. And above all, do not be in a hurry to get into a relationship that will not take you anywhere in future. God bless you for being a part of us. Join us same time next week. Bye for now.